Did you know it's possible to inform the contact owner if somebody has watched a webinar or, for example, engaged during a webinar? And you can do this on Slack. I'm going to show you how. We're going to go into HubSpot automation workflows, and we of course create a new workflow from scratch. In here, what we're going to do, and make sure that your webinar platform supports this. Not every webinar platform does, but Contrast Webinars does. We're going to search for live view. Okay. Live view, we can immediately see that contrast pops up. We're just going to click on it. That's all we need to do. We're going to add one criteria though, pretty important. We don't want it just to trigger when people have watched it live, because that could even be for 10 seconds, right? We want to make sure that people have actually watched it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the criteria, in this case, an event property live completion rate, and make sure that we only look at people that have watched 80% or more. So on contrast, this is always a percentage. So what you can do is greater than 80, which equals greater than 80%. Okay. So we can skip this, we can skip the re-enroll. And now what we have done is we have set up the trigger. What we can now do is connect Slack. Okay. So make sure that you have Slack installed before you start this, because otherwise you're going to run into an issue that I run into as well when I was setting this up. Now it's installed. You can search for Slack, send a Slack notification right there, and then you can set up your settings as you want, right? So send notification to users. You can select here to who you would send it to. If you want to, you can also do a channel. So for example, you could send it to sales, right? That makes a ton of sense. And you can also make sure that you can send the notification to the contact owner directly. Here's a message. So for example, what we can do is this contact watched more than 80% of this webinar. And then contact, of course, we're going to use this, the email address. And then this automatically gets sent to Slack. Super, super easy. You can add actions. You can add actions to the notification. You can add mentions. There I would definitely use the contact owner. That is, of course, the best way to directly tag them in that message on Slack. And the cool thing about this is that when this happens, automatically you get a message in Slack, the contact owner, this person has watched 80% of the webinar. This is the best signal for the contact owner to re-engage with this prospect. Make sure that everything was clear. You can even go into HubSpot, check the questions maybe that they asked, and use that for your follow-up. Don't forget to, of course, give a clear name to this workflow. Notifies contact owner of 80% live watch on contrast on Slack. You can add a description as well if you want. You save it, you turn it on, and it should work automatically out of the box. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions, and thanks so much for watching. Cheers.